Hi, good evening everyone. Stretch Sunday, so this is September's edition of Stretch Sunday, so just coming on monthly to give you a little bit of yoga love. Alright, so just waiting for a couple of minutes to see if some people are going to come on. As always, this flow is going to upload to IGTV after, so I hope that we're well this Sunday evening. Tonight's practice, I'm actually going to dedicate it to understanding a little bit more about modifications of the yoga practice. So a lot of people say to me, Michelle, I don't practice yoga because I'm not flexible. Well, firstly, you won't be unless you do stretch. And it's about doing some small amounts of consistent flexibility and mobility training regularly. But secondly, if you're not mobile and you don't feel very confident or successful in practice, then you need some tailored modifications that will help you progress and also feel successful in the practice too. Alright. So we're going to talk about some strong modifications that anyone can use for the yoga practice tonight, and I'm going to demo those with two bits of equipment. So one is a yoga block and the second is a yoga strap that you can use to ensure that you're keeping your spine safe and you're really learning to move from the right places in your body when you're seeking to improve your mobility or flexibility. All right. So there's going to be a full body stretch tonight. Go to the places that feel good for you, but I'm going to generally show you modifications on all of the postures that we're going to hit tonight so that anybody can do this on the mat. Alright, so spending just a little bit of time actually seated first. So if you're ready and you're joining me tonight, I'm just going to turn the camera a little. So coming down to the floor, hey guys, if you're joining me tonight, just taking a cross-legged position then, a seated cross-legged position. Now folding whichever foot feels comfortable first, but I like to have my left heel to my groin and I fold my right leg in front, alright? And then from here, just taking the hands, palms facing down for calmness. Sitting upright through the spine, lengthening the back. And then breathing in through the nose. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. You're going to find comfort in the closed mouth breath. So that's inhaling, exhaling through the nose. And the benefits of nasal breathing are endless. So see if you can breathe in and out through your nose tonight. Take a gentle twist, so one hand will move across the leg. I like to use the back of the forearm against the thigh. Place the back hand close to the sit bone and lift up chest. And then spiral the head and the neck and the eyes back over the shoulder. So we're bringing mobility to the entire length of the base of the back, up through to the crown of the head, including the upper vertebrae in the neck. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can twist further on the exhale, push against the thigh. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Alright, replace the hand. Come across the other side. So open palm, forearm against thigh, back hand close to sit bones, inhale, lengthen. Take head, neck and eye gaze past the back shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Great. hands on legs, palms down. We're going to take almost a seated cat-cow. So you're going to concave your chest, round your upper back, tuck your chin. And then inhale, surge the chest and the heart forwards and pull the shoulder blades back and down the spine. Exhale, round. So you're pulling back with the hips, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhaling. Pressing rib cage forwards, belly button forwards, shoulders pulling right back. Do that 2 more times. Exhale. A slumping position, pulling shoulder blades apart. An arched and open position, pulling shoulder blades back, squeezing them together. Do that 1 more time. Inhale. Yeah, very nice. Okay, interlace the fingers straight in front of you, push them forwards. Now pull the shoulder blades apart more by thinking about pulling the fingers apart. Yeah, again, tuck the chin down to the chest, moving through the neck and the head carriage. Inhale, lengthen arms above the head. Press them up, elbows right by the ears now. You're working through the mid back and the shoulders. Good. Press up, press up, press up. Now release the hands and press up with the fingers. Pull the shoulder blades down. So shoulders down to work away from the ears, but fingers and arms still reaching up. Good measure of shoulder flexibility. Okay, let the arms fall. Move the shoulders back. 2 circles more back. That's 4 it makes. 2 circles forwards. Making 4 circles in total. Alright, great. Coming then, top of the mat with the hips. If you've got props, just keep them handy. So a yoga block and a yoga strap. Take the hands to the legs so we can find table position. So your back is flat. You might need to soften the knees here. There's a micro bend. You may, if you have longer hamstrings, be able to lock the legs back, but think flat from the hips. So it's a hinge, tipping the tailbone back and tucking the chin down an inch. Okay, lots of knee bend then, lots of knee bend, palms down. Crown of head down, shake the head low. Moving a lot through the neck and the head tonight, nod the head yes. Think about the feet now. Lift them up, spread all 4 corners of the feet down to the mat. We often forget that. Try and get all 4 corners of the hands down to the mat, so bend your knees enough to do that. Seeking connection between rib cage and thighs, bend your knees enough to do that. Okay, taking modification on Surya Namaskar, set the right foot back, lunge. Take the left foot back in lunge and you're in plank for a second. So squeeze your thighs, pull your kneecaps up. Now you might drop the knees down. Look at the hands. Spread the fingers as wide as they can go. Now your middle finger should face forwards. And you spread the weight between hands evenly. Keep the knees down, square the hips, and tuck the elbows in as you lay down. Think knees, chest, chin. Chin on floor, Lay on the belly. Thumbs are right by the rib cage, elbows pin in. Lift the hands off the floor if you can. Bring energy to the mid-back, shoulder blades. Okay, tucking your toes, press the ground and lift the hips as one. Go to downward facing dog. Okay, taking breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Generally we use 5 full breaths here, so let's go there tonight. 2 more. Last breath, inhale. Exhale. Now to come forward, you're going to bend your knees deeply. Look to the hands. Step the right foot between them and meet it with the left foot at the top of the mat. Toes are touching the heels, are very slightly apart to keep the legs strong. Lift yourself back to your table position. Come back into a strong position. Do you feel flat? Okay, exhale, forward fold. We're going to step back left, right this time into plank. Now think core strength, keeping your nose over your fingertips ensures your weight stays forwards. You have a choice this time, lower from your knees or from your toes. It's called Chaturanga Dandasana. Okay, turn your feet over, but see if you can keep your knees off the floor to come to upward facing dog. Now here we roll the shoulders back and we pull the heart forwards of the hands. Good, lift the hips, go back to downward facing dog. Let's take 5 breaths again. So inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhale, exhale. One more. In preparation to step, bend your knees and look forwards. Left foot, right foot, meet the feet. Come back to table. Lock the knees back now. Really feel length in the hamstrings, but also right up to the sit bones with the back flats. Okay, forward fold. Crown of head down. We're going to take a modification on part B. Step back, right foot, left foot. We're going back to plank again. Yes, we are. Now the belly button pulls to the spine. Take knees or toes. Chaturanga. Be mindful not to sag the hips. In upward dog. Squeeze your thighs. Downward facing dog. Good. You're going to turn your left heel to 45 degrees. Step it slightly wider and then pick up the right foot. Place it between the hands. Good, we're going to breathe in and we're going to stand to what's known as Warrior 1. So Virabhadrasana A. Okay, this time the hips are coming around to the short edge of the mat. The arms are extending. Authentically, we have the palms together. If you need to, you take the arms shoulder width apart, yeah? Holding here. Now bend your front knee, but equally push the weight into both feet. So the back heel goes down, okay? You're going to pivot on the back heel to come onto the ball of the back foot. Yeah, lunge now, crescent lunge. Back heels up off the floor, tuck your back hip under you. Okay, lowering the knee down. You're coming down to the floor. Now sink the hips. Inhale, exhale, and now push the hips through and reach back with the chest. It's a back bend. Good. Hands inside the foot. Walk the back foot wider to let the hips sink. Now, good modification here is block. Block can come down, it can be high or low, and you see if you can get your forearms onto it. So that enables you to keep your back flat, your chest up, and the movement comes from the hips without rounding the spine. It's a good modification to use when you're opening the hips. 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale, sink the hips. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Very nice. Hands press away, just move the block to the side. And you're going to tuck your back toes to shorten your distance by half, over half, and step in. Both the toes are facing forwards. Again, you might use blocks here to keep your chest up. That's perfectly fine. And we're looking for integrity in the spine in everything that we do. If you can, you bend your back knee, so you sit back onto the back foot to stretch the calf. So sit back, bend the knee. Yeah, tough. So you're going to bend, you're going to sit. Weight goes on the back leg. At the same time we're doing that, we're stretching the hamstring on the front leg. You could, from here, interlace the hands around the back of the calf, hold it, higher or lower, your choice. Eventually kick the calf into the hands, and you're aiming for straight legs. So now it's a hamstring stretch on the right side. Front leg is stretching hard. From here, your back knee drops and it finds its way level with the foot that's on the floor. Okay, now we're going to stretch the calf on the back leg. Okay, so put your weight forwards, lean forwards, lift the heel off the ground an inch, and then it's a feeling of pushing the heel back to the floor, but still keeping the weight forwards. So now you want to feel a calf and an Achilles stretch. This is where we get very tight in the calves and the feet. It can cause real problems up the back, the legs and the spine. Keep leaning forwards, but still thinking about sending the heel back and down. My heel actually isn't on the floor, a couple of inches off. Okay, stepping hip width apart. Ragdoll, cradle your elbows, go down with the heads. Allow an organic swing, a rock if that feels good for you. Placing hands on shins, we return to this strong table position again. A feature tonight, thinking about length and not just hanging. So we're holding ourselves in this position. Good, hands down, forward fold. Now you can let go a little. Step back, left, right. Plank. Alright, not only squeeze your thighs, but squeeze your butt now. Sometimes. So you're going to do is try, huh? Knees or toes, chaturanga, up dog. down facing dog. So let's do that sequence on the left side. So I'm turning my right heel 45, stepping it slightly wider, stepping my left foot between my hands. Standing, warrior one, this side. Choice here. Any shoulder issues, take the hands shoulder width apart. You're thinking about bringing this back hip around. That's the hardest part of the posture. Bend your front knee. The purpose of the warriors are to open the hips and build strength. Back heel lifts off the floor. Go into a long, low lunge. But not collapsing the lower back. Let's really tuck our hip under us. Squeeze our butt and feel the release on the hip flexor and the psoas. One more breath. With control. As lightly as you can land. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Now as in the feeling of pushing the ribcage forwards, go back with the chest and the eyes. Exhale, come down. Good. Alright, moving this foot wider, allowing you to bring both hands inside. Walk the foot to the outer edge of the mat. Once more, use a block. Come down onto the forearms. Take a modification in lizard. The body will always try and make it as easy for you as it can, so this knee will kind of collapse out to the side. Do your best to feel it pulling inwards, pinning it towards the shoulder. Feel a nice stretch on both the front and the back of the hips. Alright, good. From here, we're going to shorten our stance. Move the block, tuck your toes, step in halfway. Bending the back knee lots. So you want to sit back onto this heel now. Feel some stretch into the foot. Now look at the foot. Almost you want to pick up those 5 toes and be able to spread them onto the mat. The hips will naturally again want to swing to the side, so counterbalance them and be mindful to square them back. If you need blocks here, use blocks to lengthen the back. If you can, you're bending the knee, you're taking the hands behind. It will always be higher, it's easier to hold higher. Eventually you're working the hands down towards the calf, then kick. Kick the calf into the hands and go to straighten the leg. And it's chin to shin on the front leg. Need a bigger chin. Go. One more breath. Okay. You're going to drop this back knee down and level it up with the foot. If I turn front on, it might be easier for you to see on this side. So knee is in line with foot. It is. Yeah. Okay, shift weight, so actually lean your body forwards onto the front foot, and my weight's on the ball of the foot. At the same time, feel energy pushing that heel back to the floor. Lift yourself up onto your knee if you can. You want to feel stretched down the Achilles, particularly right at the bottom of the insertion of the calf, releasing off through the feet. So ankle and foot mobility, so important, because what do? We stand on our feet all day. They are the things that hold our body up. So working on your ankle and your foot flexibility is so important to reduce any other injury or chance of injury through the rest of the body that will perhaps take the brunt of the feet and the ankles being tight. Very nice. Alright, going to step yourself then back to a plank and a downward facing dog. So lift the hips up, go up with the hips. The feet and the ankles should feel slightly freer now. Now fiercely energize the arms and get the ears, those right behind the biceps, yeah? We're going to vinyasa to reset, so you tuck your chin to your chest and you wave your body forwards. Go chaturanga from knees or toes into upward dog. Into downward facing dog. Last 5 breaths here in down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now with that closed mouth, nasal breathing, can you breathe into the back of your body, your back rib cage? One more time. Okay, as you come to sit down, just cross the legs to do that. And we're looking at some modifications for seated forward folding work. So if you're somebody that has very kind of tucked under hips, you find it hard to sit with the legs out straight, use a yoga block to sit on top of to elevate your hips. This should help you lift the flesh and move it back more. And enable you to actually hinge better with length from your spine to come forwards towards the feet. Alright? So yoga block is great for that. Inhale, preparation breath, both arms lift. Exhale, go towards the feet. Now if you can get the feet, get them. But once more think about length in the back. The less rounding, the better. If you want to here, use a yoga strap to pull you in. So learning the modifications that work for your body means that every time you step on the mat you can feel good about what you do. Eye gaze is open, but once more the mouth is closed down. Take one more breath here. We're going to finish laying down onto the back tonight, so move the block. And you would like your yoga strap to use for lower body stretches, okay? So starting with the back foot, it's going to hook on top of the knee. Just stay here for a minute and use your hand on your knee to push this knee out to the side. It's going to give you a nice release on the front of the hip. Thinking about connection with all of the spine on the floor. So that includes the shoulder blades, but also the back of the neck. So lift the head, tuck the chin, And inch down into the chest to get the neck long. See if you can reach underneath. By lifting the legs off the floor, pull the legs towards your chest. Holding either behind the back of the knee, or you might be able to interlace the hands onto the shin for a deeper glute stretch. The leg that was unhooked on top becomes a hamstring stretch, alright? So I'm going to use the rope here to stretch the hamstrings. So if you're someone that can't reach the foot without bending your knee, use a yoga strap here and try and invite the leg in with the toes pulled down and the heel pushed up. Slide the bottom leg away from you, perhaps, if you can. And use that same hand as leg to ground, the leg to the floor. If the big toe is within your reach, with the peace fingers you grab it and the thumb, you make a seal, otherwise hold with the rope. Taking 5 slow, full breaths here, stretching the hamstrings. The benefit of the rope means that you can use your upper body strength to pull, so pulling with the biceps, never letting the rope go slack. Inhale, exhale, open to the side, go out to the side. And the heel pushes up to the ceiling, toes pull down to floor. And then you look over your opposite shoulder, turn your head. Good, come center, just try this. Take a full deep breath in through your nose. As you breathe out, you're going to try and go nose to knee, even still holding the rope. Inhale. Exhale, work up, go up. And use your core strength to slide your ribcage forwards. Go, go, go. Working for 3. Good. Working for 2. Working for 1. And down. Very nice. Let's try on the other side. Start with the foot flexed and up. Hand on the knee. Press the knee out to the side. Push out, push out. Feel the openness on the front of the hip this time. Then reach underneath, pull the legs towards your chest. Glute stretch. Now if you feel that your lower back or your tailbone, this part of the lower back is lifting off the floor, you're just going to take the legs slightly lower. So once more we're looking for the back in contact with the floor as much as possible. Okay, good, kicking up to hamstring on this side, using the rope again perhaps. Just be very honest with yourself and what you need. Yoga mat is a place to honour how your body feels on each given day. Using the rope, maybe. Taking the big toe hook with the fingers, maybe. Do what's right personally for you. Slide the bottom leg away if you can. Place the hand on the hip. Ground it, push it down. We need that base of support because we're going to open to the side, go out to the side. Groin now. Remember, still have a feeling of pulling with the ropes, heel going up, toes going down towards the floor. Allowing the leg to come back to the middle, removing the rope. Okay, finishing in happy baby, taking the knees into the chest, the elbows inside. Take the outside of the feet. For some people it's hard here to get the head down and the shoulders down, so you might even place a yoga block under the head. So feeling of pulling down with the knees, but at the same time pushing up with the feet into the hands. It will give you a nice little bit of self PNF stretching. That means you're contracting your muscles at their lengthening point. Keep doing that, keep pulling down, keep pushing the feet up into the hands. Feel contraction and lengthening happening at the same time. Alright, allow the feet to rest. Windscreen wiper the knees from side to side just to loosen through the lower back. Beautiful. It's a nice gentle practice tonight, but hopefully helping some people understand that not all yoga practice has to be fierce and energetic, but some are recovery, but also moving in a way that's personal for you is of the utmost importance for your safety on the mat. I will set a date for October. I hope that you enjoyed practice if you came on this evening. If you'd like to know more about practicing with me weekly, you can for £6 a month online, and that's through a private Facebook subscription. So 2 25 minute practices a week and a private group with a community of support. This will go up to IGTV. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. Thanks, Hannah. Take care.